Hey guys, so I decided to make this recording because I seemed like we had quite a bit of troubles this morning. So I figured I'd jump on and make a real quick video on this assignment, which is the create decorative pattern assignment using Photoshop. In order to get started, this is what I'm looking for, guys. Let's go new. Let's go print. We'll be in print basically every time we do an assignment from here on out. Let's go pixels. And if you look at that document, it's 800 by 470. Let's go landscape. The resolution should not matter, but if I did have it set at 300, so if that becomes a problem, then come back in here, restart, and put in 100. But I think it would be nice to stay with the higher resolution if we can make that work, okay? So then we go to create, and now we have this document. Now the very first thing that it asks you to do is come over to your layers panel and create a layer. And in Photoshop, guys, this is what you're always going to be wanting to work on, layers, and never working on the background layer, okay? And it says to call it paint, so we'll call that paint. With it selected, all you're doing, guys, is you're coming over to the brush tool, and you guys can hit the drop down on swatches and then create a color pattern. Okay, I'm just going to go crazy right now just to get something started. Okay. Alright, so maybe I was thinking like some type of baseball theme. For example, I'd have to upload or create my own pattern in there. So no rhyme or reason, guys. Just a simple demo, okay? I'm gonna throw this in here for the heck of it. And then you go to the blob brush, and you can smear this around. I'm sorry, not the blob brush. The smudge tool. All right, the blob brush is what you guys, if you did the teddy bear anyway. That's what you use to do your teddy bear in Illustrator. Now, one thing, you can just go in circles and just go crazy, guys, but if you are looking for some type of artistic look, as you guys can see, I can control this a little bit. I can go slow and kind of feather these out how I'd like, okay? But for the demo purposes, guys, I'm just flying, okay? But maybe you guys have some type of plan. Okay. And then the next thing, this is where we were running into our hiccup, was we were supposed to create another layer and call that solid color. Enter. And now we're working on that solid color. And then we were supposed to come up here and use one of the marquee tools. I'm just going to use the ellipse. Hold down the shift key and reposition that. And then put that in there. Okay. Now, if you're looking for a specific color, okay, then it's important that you guys come over here and you switch it right away. Okay. So now I got blue in there. All right. If you're looking for pink, whatever, before you go to fill this, you should switch it to the color that you're looking for. I'm going to go ahead and go with the blue. And then we're going to right click and we're going to do a fill color. You want to make sure that it's foreground is selected. Okay, sometimes I think content aware, and we'll get into content aware, well, hopefully down the road. And then click OK, and it should fill it. All right, I know that we had some issues today. I'm really not sure what was happening, and I know that there's a few quirks in the fact that you guys are using the Citrix software, which is down off the server. Okay. And then if you're following the instructions, another thing that it wants you to do is go to Window and then go to Styles. Now, this is where I know that it looks different to you guys because you guys have more like a drop down and you guys kind of like select and actually go through them. But when you do that, guys, this is some of the ones that you guys are going to see. Okay, you'll see ones like this. If you come down here and go to Abstract and click OK, then this is what we see. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and grab this one for the purposes of this assignment. And then I'm going to hit Control D so I can deselect that. And then the next thing that it was asking you to do, and it was also asking you to incorporate the stamp tool, the stamp pattern. Guys, by all means, this is more about you guys plugging and playing, but for the demo purposes, I'm going to bypass this one for now. But I am going to go to the eraser tool. And again, guys, you can change the opacity, all right? So if you go all the way up, it's going to erase everything, and it's going to basically make it white. So you definitely want to soften that a little bit, and then just kind of whatever you're thinking. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to go, and I'm going to smear that around a little bit more. Why not? Okay, and guys, I don't necessarily want you guys rushing through here just to get the assignment done. I am interested to see what you guys come up with as far as artistic ability here. Something like that. Okay, that's what I'm done with that. And then it wants you to group those layers, right? So with this layer selected, and then you hold down the shift key and select that one. Right click. Sorry, let me go back. When you hold down the selection, then they're both selected. So let me deselect that. So if I select solid and then hold down shift and select paint, they're both selected. That's when I'm going to right click. I'm going to go up and say group layers. And in the assignment, it asks you to call that design 1. Okay. And then I'm going to click OK. And now I've got my design 1. All right. Then from here, it asks you to start playing with the custom tools. All right, so you're going to grab this one, come up here, and we'll grab this one for right now. And then the next thing is, guys, when you're doing this, make sure it's not shape. All right, make sure that path is selected. This is the options bar per the instructions. Options bar up here is up here. Make sure path is selected and not shape, or it'll fill it in. And then the other thing is, at least in the very beginning, you want to start with combined shapes, or otherwise everything will go away. And you'll know that you're combining because you'll have the plus symbol. Okay, and I'm just going to go ahead and create this flower. Okay, and it asks you just to start out with one in the beginning. Okay, and then you're going to go back and delete it. You hit the path. And then you come over here and you select this load path as selection. And now you see that it's loaded. It's shimmering. You click the layers panel, and then you come down here and you click the layer mask. And when you do that, if everything goes well, you should now have a layer mask of the paint job into the flower. Okay. The next thing that it asks you to do now is it asks you with the layer mask selected, which is this right here, it says go ahead and delete that. Okay, and when you do that, you come back to your paint. And the reason why is because it wants to show you what it looks like when you add and subtract a shape. Okay, so again, my path is selected. Nothing, no harm, no foul, because I just deleted that. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add this one. Okay, there it is. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab this tool, or I'm sorry, this shape, this sun. And this time I'm going to subtract this one. Okay, and I'm going to subtract it right from the center here. Okay, and this is where we're working with that negative, positive space. And I've got that. Okay. Now, in order to get to select both of these, you have two options, okay, to do this. All right. One, you can come here, grab your selection tool, okay, which is you are path selection. So it has to be the path selection tool. Okay. And then I can just simply grab that. Both of those paths are selected. And then I can go and do the exact same thing. Click on paths. Load that path, and then come to layer and hit this layer mask. Okay. Or another thing that you can do is with this selected, you could hold down the shift control button, select that path, and it should do the same. Okay. You guys decide what's easier. When you get into some detail, it might be easier to do it this way. You guys decide. Okay. But for this purpose, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I got my path selection tool. I'm going to select both of those. I'm going to go to the path, go back to my layer mask, boom. And that did not turn out like I wanted. So I'm going to do Control Z on that. I'm going to go to my path. I'm going to hit deselect. I'm going to select this. And I'm going to double check that that was negative. Yep. And then this one. See what happened? It subtracted that one too, guys. I wanted this one to be combined. Okay, so I wanted that one to add and then this one to subtract. For some reason, it went to subtract. Okay, select them both, load that path, hit that, and there you go. There you have it. Okay. Now, here's the difficult thing behind making this assignment. Okay, is you can't go back and you can't add something and subtract it from this design. You have to do all of your adding and all of your subtracting at once before you come to the path and you load it. Okay, that is the crappy thing. Okay, and let me show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this. Okay, I'm going to select this. I'm going to delete this. Yep. Go back into my layers panel, make sure that my design won, and then I'm going to go ahead and start building these. Okay, so I'm going to do something like I did before. Go ahead and do something like this, and you can see it's got the subtract. So again, I'm going to go make sure that this one's combined. Okay, boom. Okay, then I want to grab this one. This time I want this one to be subtracted. Shift key. Grab this one, and this I still want these to be subtracted. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in on this guy so that way when you guys are adding these ones, you want to make sure that you zoom in a little bit. Okay, go to the shape tool again, making sure path is still selected, and I'm going to minus this here. Okay, in a minute. Okay. All right, now do you see how this thing is not turned how I want, guys? What you can do is you can come over here, grab this tool here. While this is selected, I can hit Control T, which is free transform, and then I can rotate that one. Okay, and then I can go back to my shapes and do it all over again. Okay, so I can see that this is not turning how I want it to be. It's selected. Control T. And then I'm going to raise that up. Drop it in there. Okay, something like that. And for the timing purposes of this video, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop there just so I can show you guys. Alright. But I got those started, right? So if everything works well, okay, I'm going to go ahead and zoom out so you guys can see. Alright, I'm going to go grab my path tool. Alright, I'm going to select everything. Everything is selected. I'm going to go to my paths, load everything, and that did not work. They're not loaded. Do you guys see that? So let's go to this path. Okay, so what happened here, guys? I'm going to deselect. What happened is when I loaded it, this path wasn't selected, I don't believe. Okay, you got to make sure that's selected. So I'm going to try this again. Everything is selected. Okay, this is going to frustrate me. Path. Alright, so I'm going to select this. I'm going to look. Yep, that's subtracted. How about this one? What am I doing with this one? Again, why does that one? Okay, so I need to go back and I want to add this one. So that way, this one is subtract. This one is subtract. Okay, boom, boom. Okay, so what happened, guys, is this bigger one decided to do that to me again, okay? So now I'm going to add it all, load it, Everything selected, go to my layers, layer mask, boom, and now you can see everything is subtracted. All right.